Hello, YouTube! How are we doing today?
Hello,
Hello,
YouTube room.
What's going on, guys?
Wow, we're live on YouTube.
Maxime loves the title, thinks it's lit. Yeah, I mean, as soon as Roddy said Big Creepy Dork, I don't think we could have called it anything else.
Tank Girl reboot, yes.
Yeah, a lot of people loving the tank. Eric Marcotte. I listened to John and Way. I believe we've been saying it wrong.
We've been saying Eric Marcotte and he hasn't corrected us.
Eric, why have you not corrected us?
Dude, we had you on a Patreon show.
We've had you on our show. We ask you every week if we sound good and look good, and you should be like, no, you don't sound good. You're saying my fucking name wrong.
What the hell, man?
What's going on?
College is done, says Jake. He can finally watch more wrestling.
Oh, good. Nice.
Good to know. Good to do. I mean, that's always good. We've been watching a lot of it.
Yeah, a skateboard is now here. Yeah, how do we sound, guys?
Oh, we're going to talk about it.
I know the picture looks good. Just checking on the audio.
How are we looking? How are we sounding?
Guess maybe we're sounding bad because no one's responding.
No one likes us. That's how we feel.
I need Eric.
Yeah, where's Eric Marcotte?
Where's Eric?
John just hit you up and asked for the straight pronunciation. Yes, we never did that. So we're sorry. Eric Marcotte.
Eric Marcotte.
What is it? Eric Marcotte? Eric Marcotte.
We sound good. Perfect. No,
we sound
Eric
good.
Marcotte.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you, YouTube Room, for joining us on this Wednesday night, wherever you may be. We're going to start talking about NXT really soon. How is everyone tonight, though? Get a bevy, get a smoke in, get something in, get whatever it is you do in, as I test our microphones to make sure they're working.
John says our shirts is making him envision a Jaws versus Orange Cassidy matchup.
How would Jaws versus Orange Cassidy match
Jaws
work?
would literally just do that on the nose, right? That's how you fight a shark. You punch it in the nose. They say that, but like I don't know if you've tried to move underwater. Like you're trying to punch a shark underwater.
If we're gonna talk
it's gonna
about
be
sharks,
like
there's this famous girl now who's like maybe 20 years old right now. This happened about a year ago. She was attacked by a shark, and her dad saved her life by punching a shark repeatedly in the nose,
right
in the face. And the daughter lost like her legs and one arm, I think, and like now decides to devote her life to sharks. But the dad was like, if I didn't, give it a few taps on the face, my daughter, it would have taken her.
Yeah.
Because she was only like 18 or something.
And she's now devoted her life
to sharks. And now she's like, it was my fault. I was in its territory. I've researched everything. She's turned a new leaf. She's now called Shark Girl. Like, I'm pretty sure she's like YouTube famous and all this stuff now. She calls herself Shark Girl. She like just does shark research, does everything about. Basically, is like, look, I don't blame it.
Yeah.
Which is strange.
That's fair. Like, yeah.
If you got attacked by a shark, I'd be like, let's go. We're killing every shark. No, but like,
I just don't think I'd be able to punch underwater.
It's not something you got to do the haymaker, the over the top to punch a shark.
Or you wait till you're on the surface, I guess.
Yeah.
You're like, come on, jump for me, bam.
True. What would you do underwater? You got to do the knees underwater.
Still, it's hard to move underwater.
And I have been to an aquarium lately. You know how many rows of teeth that they clinch? Like, you're stuck to them.
Oh, yeah, you can't.
Fucked. Yeah, you die. You have to punch them. Welcome to our shark podcast. Welcome. Regret Googling Shark Girl. John feels no types of ways about Shark Girl. Orange definitely has shark repellent. Yeah, Orange Cassidy would have shark repellent like we did our Batman. Io Charlotte Rhea triple threat match. Yeah, we're going to definitely talk about that. Nothing on Shark Boy. Yes, the movie Shark Boy is not good. No, definitely not good. I guess we should start doing our show.
Absolutely, yeah. It's about time. Yeah, let's kick it off a little early.
Should we just do a shark podcast?
Yeah, this
basically. What shark girl should I Google this? Yeah, let me make sure before I tell people. Let's have a girl. Everyone's gonna Google shark girl. Okay, I'm just seeing a girl that's a shark now.
Oh yeah, me too.
But there is a girl shark girl like shark girl and lava boy.
Braden,
no,
thoughts?
No, that's a shark. I'm not talking about lava girl and shark boy. I'm talking about shark girl.
Yeah, I'm just seeing a load of this thing with a shark on her head.
All I know is I watched it. It's like this shark girl thing. I don't know, man. I'm serious. I saw this thing. I'm not lying. Some weird animation. Yeah, sorry. I didn't mean for anyone to Google shark porn, or if that's Rule 34. If it does exist, there is dirtiness of it. Shark Boy, TNA wrestler. Yeah, wow. Shark Boy, 316. I guess we'll start talking about NXT. Let's talk about our show. Let's record our show here.
LFG.
Welcome everyone in the YouTube room. Thank you for joining us. Cinematic masterpiece, Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Yeah, same people who made Spy Kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So we're gonna start doing this. If you have to leave at any time, the podcast is up wherever you get your podcast. Thank you for joining us wherever you may be, and yeah, let's go.
Hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for upNXT, postwrestling.com, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and
youtube.com/upNXT. Hello, YouTube room.
Yes, we go live after NXT every Wednesday night because we're your NXT friends. And you see, YouTube people, we're in the room. It's still quarantine time wherever you may be. Your city, like Toronto here, may have opened up, quote unquote, but we're still here with you wherever you may be, whenever you may be listening to this. Welcome. We are your NXT friends. We're up next. You can also find us on Patreon, patreon.com/upnext, where we have all the other podcasts and all sorts of stuff, because people think we're your NXT friends, but we do like AEW.
We do like AEW, and we do like, not wrestling as well.
Right. Yeah.
We love talking about movies and TV and anything, really.
Especially in this time. I don't know about you, but conversations with friends and family members now are like, okay, so what have you been watching? What have you been doing? Because I've been doing The Sopranos. I've talked about it on the show. And now the conversations with people are like, what have you been watching? Why aren't you watching this? Why did you watch this? Like, I know, what do you watch?
At the moment, I've just started Life in Pieces.
What is that?
It's a sitcom, family sitcom. It feels a bit like Modern Family, but each episode is 4 stories. It's pretty funny. Seen like 16 episodes so far. Sitcom. Okay. Yeah, really easy watch. I'm really enjoying it. It's got James Brolin in it. Betsy Brandt from Breaking Bad. Hank's wife. Blanking on the character's name.
Marie, the jewel, they're minerals, Marie. Damn
yes, that's been really good. I put out a message the other day on Twitter asking for good new animated shows, or just animated shows I haven't seen, because I feel I've seen most of them.
Clone High.
Stumbled across something called Ugly Americans.
Okay.
Have you heard of this one?
No.
It's set in Manhattan, but basically every kind of like paranormal or horror or any creature imaginable all lives in Manhattan. So you got zombies.
I mean, they do anyways.
You got zombies, you got werewolves, you got demons, and it's pretty funny. And it's about this social worker who's trying to get these like demons and things to integrate into society. It's pretty funny. Okay. So been watching a bit of that.
I'm not much a cartoon fan, but there is one cartoon that holds dear to my heart, and they put out a new movie this week.
They did, yeah.
And we saw advertisements tonight on NXT for Scoob.
Yeah.
Everyone needs an origin story, even Scooby-Doo.
What did you think of it?
You know what? I am a long time. I think the only reason I still have a podcast is because I once did a podcast with John Pollock and Wei Ting for a review away of the WWE Scooby-Doo one. To this day, people will be like, "Hey, Braden, that review was nice." I'm like, I still do more shows, people. I do other shows. I am a Scooby-Doo mark, if you will. And, I liked it, but it kind of was still a little different than what I was...
I was a little disappointed because I heard some people who'd seen it and were like, "Oh, it's really good."
Right.
So I think I built up my expectations a bit.
Yeah, me too.
I loved the casting. I thought it was brilliant. Like the voice actors they had, I thought fitted them perfectly. You've got
we didn't have Matthew Lillard though as Scoob though.
But
Shaggy, sorry.
You had Will Forte, who's pretty damn good as Shaggy. Zac Efron as Fred, I thought was good. You've got Jason Isaacs, who many people may know as Lucius Malfoy, as Dick Dastardly. I thought it was going to be more origin story, though.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be more of them as, like, kids. The opening scene.
Because they were still young, but it just cut to when they're
cut to them as we know them. And that's when I kind of went, oh, okay. It's enjoyable, don't get me wrong. Especially if you've got kids and you need something to show them. And, like, everyone knows Scooby-Doo. I'm pretty sure everyone at some point in their childhood watched Scooby-Doo. So it's stuff you can watch with your kids. But I would have liked more of like that opening scene, that to be the movie, have it really
I thought
their
that's
origin
what it was.
story, how they met Velma, how they met Fred, all of that.
I want to meet Velma.
I know you do.
I'm a Velma guy for life. For life. Yeah, I watched Scoob, which I'm not a huge animated guy, but I watched it because it's Scooby-Doo, and I don't have kids that I'm aware of, and I think that, you know, it would be good for kids to watch. It's still like it's still the franchise of this thing. A dog, a group of kids, stoners who solve mysteries. It's my favorite. And I liked the intro where it threw back to the OG. The what is it, Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? The OG series is like untouchable. It's so good. And that did a little ode to that with the new animation. I really liked it. Something else I watched, which a lot of wrestling fans watched last night, which is completely different from Scooby-Doo, is the Dark Side of the Ring, the finale of the second one. Now, we've been watching all of them and kind of doing it with our upNXTs every Thursday, along with our AEW reviews on our Patreon. But I watched the Owen Hart one, but you know, John Pollock did something for Post Wrestling about a year ago with the podcast thing, which was brilliance, podcasting excellence, and I kind of feel like I like John's better than this version of it that I watched, because I just didn't feel like I got anything kind of new out of it. However, I do understand now that, like, why wrestling fans, we should don't I hate the wrestling fans that are pestering Martha Hart for like the whole Owen.
It's about being in the Hall of Fame, and Owen, I believe, is already in a wrestling Hall of Fame. It's just not the WWE one, and I've not seen the Owen doc yet. I'm planning on watching that tomorrow. But everything I've heard is kind of, as you said, haven't really learned anything new. But people have now gone,
so sad.
Oh, yeah, I can see her point of view.
100%.
That she wouldn't want WWE profiteering off of his name. I mean, you've been to WrestleMania. You go to the like the Access store, and they've got shirts there for every single member of the Hall of Fame, like for that year. Like, I remember going, and there was a cool T-shirt of Alundra Blaze with the women's title in the trash can. Who do you think is making the money from that? I'm sure Alundra Blaze will get a percentage. WWE are.
Sure.
And that's what she doesn't want.
Right. Well, now they have a pro wrestling tees.
Yeah.
They have Owen Hart on pro wrestling tees.
Which is fantastic.
Which is crazy. I can't wait to I need to get an Owen Hart. I remember I still owe you money. You still haven't told me what it is.
I have. I've told you a few times, but you're always lit and forget. Yeah, I'll do it tomorrow.
we need to make it pro wrestling tees, because they made Owen Hart shirts, which is just crazy. I know Canadians are going to go crazy and buy these things. But yeah, it's really emotional. It's really sad. The whole series, the Owen Hart one did crazy numbers for this show. It broke like their record with all of the other ones. And I know TSN here in Canada was promoting it. I loved all the episodes. We watched a bunch of them. We did chat about them. I know we briefly on a show talked about which wrestling things we would want to see in season 3 of Dark Side of the Ring, and we've come up with like one on like China. I think there should be an episode on China, just her whole retrospective. We were discussing maybe Jeff Hardy, you know, but maybe not so much a comeback story or something along those lines. But I was thinking that there should also be ones that were like that one with the UWF, where it was just more like malarkey.
Yes.
Like more.
I think so. I was talking to you as we were watching NXT about how I watched Carneyland last night, which is NWA's new show instead of Power.
Yeah.
They're not doing empty arena wrestling right now. And probably it's very out there. It's very kind of being the elite, but more wacky. And definitely some of it doesn't stick with me.
Okay.
Other bits are really funny and really good. My favorite bit was probably the True Stories with Nick Aldis, where he's talking about, he calls him Carney Chris. I think this basically Carney promoter who
of course
eventually essentially tried to get him to pay for his own hotel.
Wow.
Faked a booking. It was like emailed him a confirmation booking, which was just the page before you hit submit.
Send.
And I'm sure there's so many stories out there of
Carnies.
These crazy Carney. I mean, I feel we've had ECW to death, but definitely Paul Heyman
needs a
Carney.
Dark Side of the Ring.
And I feel, as you said, there's probably 100 more of these Herb Abrams guys out there.
I want to know how many other crazy fucked up Vince McMahon stories there are.
Oh god,
this just makes him look terrible. This makes me wonder why I still support any of these products.
Absolutely.
It's very interesting. What about one on Edge Matt Hardy and Lita. I know it's not as dark, but like it could show.
I think you need
relationships on the road.
some other. If every week was a Owen or Benoit one, it would be very bleak, and that's why I liked kind of the New Jack ones and the Herb Abrams ones that kind of shake it up. But yeah, like definitely a sort of that love triangle kind of thing.
Sure, or there's other wrestlers that have gone through that situation, but yeah, I think so too. So I watched that this week, and I know on this show I've talked about how I've been watching The Sopranos. That's pretty much what I've been doing with my quarantine TV time at nighttime. Want something to watch. I've just been flying through The Sopranos.
Now, I assume because you haven't... Oh, sorry, you wanted to say about your food, I'm guessing, having watched The Sopranos.
Oh, right, yeah. We do our NXT meals, which we kind of haven't talked about in a while. We switch back and forth between... We're roommates. We cook each other NXT-themed meals. But in last week, we had the Gargano dinner again. And I think I made a joke saying, why isn't someone made the Garganos, but like the Sopranos Garganos? And someone photoshopped us in at upNXT podcast on Twitter, by the way. And we retweeted it. But so I decided there's a Sopranos cookbook out there. And they keep talking about like ziti's and like lasagnas and like pasta bakes and like casseroles. And I'm like, I'm not Italian. I'm a pork chop. But I'm like, yo, that sounds all right. So today I like... That's what I attempted to make. I just bought a shit ton of matzah, put it in a...
It's just shit ton of cheese, pasta, and...
Bake
mince,
it.
Yeah,
it was
good.
all right.
It's very tasty.
We had a little bit of salad as well. So we're a bit healthier than the Gargano. I mean, not as healthy as the Garganos, obviously.
Yeah, it wasn't a chicken Caesar, no croutons.
So, but I haven't thought of an NXT name for it, so I'm just thinking the Garganos.
What's it called, ZT?
Well... Ziti is in the show, and someone Italian listening is gonna murder me now because I didn't put ricotta, and I'm happy I didn't because I don't like ricotta. And then I told you that I didn't buy ricotta, and you're like, yeah, fuck ricotta.
There's better cheese. Come on now.
There is.
Yeah.
I can name all the cheeses.
All the cheeses that are better than ricotta. I'm kind of with you.
What about cottage cheese? Might be better than ricotta.
No, I don't like cottage. No, I'll put ricotta above cottage cheese.
Yeah.
That stuff freaks me out, and I love cheese.
Yeah, I agree.
But why is it lumpy?
Yeah, why is it like
Why
that?
does it smell like that?
What is it?
Why is it runny yet solid?
What is it? What is cottage cheese? And why is it called cottage cheese? Is it from the cottage?
I don't know.
You eat it in the cottage?
My mum used to eat it on like crackers, and people put it away, Mum.
Yeah, it's strange.
It's gross.
I'm glad I'm happy I didn't. I just bought a bunch of different mozzarellas and put them all in and baked it, but I haven't come up with a name. So it is supposed to be like the Sopranos, like whatever, but the Garganos.
So far it's the Garganos until we come up with something better.
Exactly. Yes. So we need some recipes. We've asked for recipes.
Yeah.
No one's giving us food recipes for our NXT dinners.
Now, while we're on the subject of TV, have you watched any of The Last Dance yet?
No.
Because that just finished. I know you're not really a sports fan, but like it's... As a documentary, it's just fantastic.
Well, I know the Rodman tie-in, obviously.
I was going to say, if you're going to watch anything, watch the Rodman episode, because for you, I think this guy would be a hero.
Oh, I know all about him. My friend Shane still has the OG shirts that this guy had for WCW.
For WCW?
Yeah.
But yeah, I finished watching that on, when was it, Monday? That's just so good. And yeah.
Is it like The Last Ride?
Dennis Rodman. kind of, yeah, essentially. I mean, it was the idea. It's the final season of that team, the Chicago Bulls. And the difference is they won and then were like disbanded, whereas Taker lost and was like, no, I ain't finishing there. I can keep going. I'll do another one.
So Rodman's coming back.
But it's funny because a lot of my friends who have been watching that, I've been lending my network password and being like, hey, did you know Dennis Rodman fought Karl Malone in a wrestling match? And they're like, what? So I've been sending them that. So that's been funny.
All I know is he would just stay in his hotel room, hang out with Carmen Electra, and do all sorts of strange things. Yeah. Rodzilla.
He had a good 97, 98.
He's one of my heroes.
Yeah.
You are not far off by saying someone I should look up to in right ways are wrong, perhaps. And I know that you've been going out for walks. Everyone's just been going out for walks. I've got my bike fixed this last night, pumped some air into the tires, and we joked about Tony Hawk coming out with a new Tony Hawk Pro Skater thing, and we joked about skateboarding, and I talked about it to my friend Shane, and I was like, yeah, I remember he doesn't have legs, he's in a wheelchair, and he once was gifted this really crazy skateboard in California from Death Wish skate company. and it was the Ultimate Warrior and Papa Shango, which I have here, which is just crazy. So now I'm gonna probably try to skateboard, which I've skateboarded when I was like 8 with a Spider-Man skateboard once. So in a week or two, I could either have injuries from this, but I'm gonna attempt.
I mean, at the moment, it doesn't have wheels.
I'm going.
I'd say that would be your first step.
It doesn't have wheels yet, and trucks and all those things. So I'm attempting to learn how to skateboard. Now I'm not gonna attempt any like Christ airs or anything. I just want to learn how to ride down the street.
Nice.
Can it all be so simple?
Make sure I get the camera out for this, and
Patreon
that can be on a
exclusive.
Patreon exclusive. Yeah, Braden learns how to skateboard. I did go for a walk today.
Okay.
I went to H&M.
It was open?
It's open.
Wow.
So that was nice. Just a bit of normalcy. I bought this Jaws t-shirt.
You're wearing a Jaws t-shirt.
Yeah.
Not the DJ, the band, the movie, I mean.
Yeah, it was kind of nice. Just get a bit of normalcy in my life and go into H&M.
Wow.
And then I went to the LCBO after, and obviously every like LCBO, for those of you not from like
liquor store
Ontario, it's a liquor store. And now when you go in, you've got security and you've got to sanitize your hands and all that, obviously. And the guy who was like at the door was like, "Wait, is H&M open?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Really?
Oh my God.
How are they doing it?" It's like, well, very similar to you guys. Let in someone at the door, let in people like one at a time. He's like, "Are the fitting rooms open?" I was like, no, but they still do returns. Returns? How does that work? Well, I think they just keep it in a box for 3 weeks and then can bring it out again.
Yeah.
Well, I got to go to H&M. So that
Stores
security guard was very excited about H&M.
I mean, yeah, they have nice shirts, like your Jaws shirt. It's the classic. It's the OG. We haven't done a Jaws review. We've talked about sharks all day today. Before we talked about. I'll talk about sharks all goddamn day. I watch David Attenborough on BBC Blue Planet all night long.
See, I've seen Jaws a bunch, but I tell you what I haven't seen a bunch is Jaws 3.
Oh,
so,
it's bad.
Yeah, that's why we should do it.
Is Jaws 3 like what's happening in America with the beaches?
Oh, God.
Where they're not closed, the mayor doesn't want to close the beaches or whatever.
It's like, there's killer whales. I know my rights. I don't care if there's killer whales. You can't tell me what to do.
I can be straight honest. Jaws 1, end it there. Don't watch the others.
I've heard. How do you feel? I don't know if you've heard. We've done shows on this. Scream 5 confirmed.
Yeah, we did a review, I think, a while ago, maybe
last Halloween.
Yeah, we did a Scream review on our Patreon, I think, where Scream 1 is one of my favorite movies of all time. And I think that bringing it back for 5, just...
I think what I do like about Scream is
like
each episode of the series has had a good concept. They're all like taking the piss out of horror movies. So Scream 1 is your classic slasher. Scream 2 is mocking a sequel. What happens in a sequel?
Yeah.
Scream 3 is what concludes a trilogy. And then Scream 4 is the reboot.
The reboot,
It's the reboot. So it goes back to the original, but tweaking it.
And then they made MTV had a TV show. I watched it
Yeah.
as well.
What would the concept be for Scream 5?
She dies. Sydney Prescott dies. Naomi Campbell?
Concept. That's not a concept.
That's the ending, the final...
I'm not talking about ending. I'm talking what's the concept. We had the concept for the first 4. Is it socially distant murders? Is that what it is? I don't know. What's going on in film that they...
Socially distant murders is you shoot someone. You don't wear a mask and run.
But what in films, like what has been the trope in horror films for the last few years that they could like play on?
I don't know, because Scream 4 did a lot of the like...
They've already done the reboot thing, yeah.
The online thing, the phone thing. Yeah, I don't really know if this needs a reboot, to be honest. It's kind of like let it go and just create new scary movies with masks.
I'm down for it, and at least they do have original cast members back.
Sure. David Arquette, former WCW World Heavyweight Champion.
And the directors are the ones that did Ready or Not, which is very much a kind of comedy horror. So it's definitely, they've got the right people to do it with, obviously Wes Craven. A Wes Anderson Scream movie is one I want to see. But yeah, interesting news there.
I also watched a little bit of Monday Night Raw because our favorite, she's not in the YouTube room with us right now, Kairi Sane was on Monday Night Raw, your favorite, and she was playing the recorder, and I went on Twitter and said I should sample this as a joke, and then I was like, she's playing the recorder so bad that I went and sampled it.
Do you know anyone who plays a recorder well?
No,
it's not
the
a
worst
nice instrument.
So I went and I put a trap beat underneath it, reversed it, put some echo trap delay on it, put some trap drums, and John Pollock from Post Wrestling retweeted it. And so many people were like, "What is this thing?" And I don't know what I created, so I'm sorry for it. But it was amazing. So if anyone wants the rap on it, let me know. It's not good.
I'll rap on it.
Yeah,
we need to enter WH Park.
There you go. That could be WH Park.
And he didn't say anything about recorders.
He didn't.
He said no flutes.
He just said nothing racist, but he didn't say no recorders.
He said no flutes.
Is a recorder a type of flute?
No.
It's just a recorder.
If a recorder's a type of flute, so is a trumpet. You know, like it's. So
we're gonna enter that.
I'll write a rap. I started one last week, I think, and then realized it was 4 a.m. and I ate 2 White Claws too many.
Well, yeah, we gotta enter his show for Post Perez.
Post Perez.
Yeah, it's coming soon to the Post Wrestling Network, and he's gonna be chatting all about some Japanese wrestling, which we've been watching a lot of, specifically this week for one special show out on our Patreon this week, patreon.com/upNXT. Tomorrow night, Thursday night, we're doing a show with John Pollock from Post Wrestling.
Oh yes.
And if you're a wrestling nerd, this is your bread and butter right here. This is a show not the greatest match ever.
Not the greatest match ever.
Not the greatest wrestling match ever.
Did you see Charlie pause? She went to say best match ever and was like, oh, shit, no, I can't say that.
She's been listening.
She doesn't want to cease and desist from the
us.
BDE.
We got one from them once.
We got one from them, and we'll fucking send you one.
Yeah, we'll send you one too.
Yeah.
Best match ever. It's the best match ever. The greatest wrestling match ever. We have a podcast called Best Match Ever where we dissect wrestling stuff. We did some Ric Flair, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Misawa Kawada, so many different ones. ROH, we just did a Money in the Bank one. But in quarantine, we've been joking and saying that, like, to entertain ourselves, we've been finding old school wrestling that maybe we're not too familiar with. And there's some guy that's been going around on the internet in memes and stuff of the legendary Stan Hansen, the Texan, the cowboy. And we're like, okay, this guy is pretty great. We watched some of his stuff, got kind of lit one night, and we were like, this guy's great. We should do one of these podcasts on this. And John Pollock, who, we do post wrestling and stuff, he was like, oh, I love the fact that you guys do that show. It sounds so great. I'd love to do one with you sometime. And we said, well, yeah, this was going to be our next one. And he's like, you son of a bitch, I'm in. So we're going to watch the best rated, not even rated, but the best Stan Hansen matches, which this guy was more so famous in Japan, which is weird because he's a Texan. He's a white dude. He's a gaijin. So this is just incredible. I know a lot of people are like, Kenny Omega's not Japanese, but he was a legend in Japan. Yo, this dude was a legend in Japan. Vader was a legend in Japan. All these guys, and we're going to be talking about them tomorrow with John Pollock.
Absolutely. So go to patreon.com/upNXT. I've helped you guys out because I've even posted a list of all the matches we're looking
They're
at
on YouTube
with links.
Yeah,
all the links are
Daily
there,
Motion.
so you can click on them. None of them are longer than 30 minutes, so they're great to just put on. Maybe don't put the Vader one on when you're having your lunch, but all the others, yeah.
John is making sure we talk about the Vader match. That's
we are.
Sure.
We are
yeah,
indeed.
that's on our Patreon. $5 a month gets you that show, gets you all the shows, all the back catalog as well. We've been killing it. We did an 8 Mile review this week for an Up Yours. World Champ patrons get to join us for a show, and we had B Detroit join us, and we chatted 8 Mile. He's from Detroit, so obviously we had to talk about that. That was so much fun. So we've been doing, all our shows are all over the place.
Yeah, this Saturday we've got a bunch coming out. I've got the final part of my Lost mini-series.
Yes.
We're talking all about the finale. I'm joined by listeners of the show, David Sykes and MJ from NJ, and my friend Kevin Hudson from the Geek-Centric podcast and YouTube channel. We gone super nerdy. We talk for a couple of hours all about the finale, all about our thoughts of a potential reboot or the future of the show. That'll be dropping this Saturday, as well as on our very YouTube channel, youtube.com/upNXT. We will be doing a live watch-along of AEW's Double or Nothing.
Yes, AEW Double or Nothing. Jon Moxley, Brody Lee, which is not even the match I'm most excited for. But AEW has been doing a pretty good job. We do AEW reviews every Thursday, again, also on our Patreon. We've been loving that show. I'm wearing an Orange Cassidy shirt right now. Thank you, Scrum. And I've been loving that show. We usually our Wednesday nights is we watch NXT, we do this show, and then we pop on AEW and then do the review Thursday. But they've been doing a fantastic job. This pay-per-view's got Mike Tyson on it. You've already got me. You've got my money. You've got my money. If this was happening in Vegas and I wasn't going, and Mike Tyson, because clearly Tyson was supposed to be there because it's Vegas, to come out to In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins, I would have been upset. Just seeing that would be it's so cool that they've been able to do this. Tony Khan must have money.
Oh, yeah.
But we're doing a watch-along.
We are, yes.
Saturday.
So join us on this YouTube channel and we'll be doing a post-show on the Patreon. But that's enough about that. I did notice in the YouTube room there's someone new to the BDE who said, talk about NXT at some point. Well,
no, never.
Now is that time. We will talk about this week's NXT.
I just wanted to talk about how much we hate ricotta cheese again. That's what I thought we were here to talk about. Yes, we are here to talk about NXT. NXT from Wednesday, May 20th, 2020. We have a little screen here for Shad Gaspard. Rest in peace. If you followed,
horrible story.
Yeah, he was found today with his body on the shore. Very sad story. But R.I.P. Shad Gaspard. I'll always remember two things. That he and JTG, Crime Time, got William Regal to do the money, yeah dance, where William Regal joined them in. And then I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, he also tried to sell Lita's... They sold Lita's belongings, which included sex toys. So good times with Crime Time. But R.I.P. Shad Gaspard. Very sad.
Yeah, I'm not overly familiar with him because Crime Time were really a thing when I was kind of in my gap from watching wrestling. But just a really horrible story, and obviously condolences to his family. And the guy went out as a hero, which is kind of wonderful, but it's super tragic news. So rest in peace, Shad.
No, it's really sad. So R.I.P. and condolences everyone. And in the wrestling world is kind of everyone's been like, this guy was really nice, and he apparently basically saved his kid's life for his own here. And sad situation, but they WWE throwing up the image here. R.I.P. We then start with a cold open with Mauro Ranallo on commentary saying, "Here is Karrion Kross and Scarlett, fall and pray." And out comes Scarlett and Karrion Kross to start off NXT tonight. And we've seen their entrance before. I mentioned it reminds me of some almost Bad Out of Hell type metal. I don't know.
Yeah, it's very kind of Meatloaf, Bonnie Tyler.
I'm all for this entrance.
It's fantastic.
That you noted that Scarlett wasn't doing the lip syncing as much.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the first time they did the entrance, she lip synced everything, whereas now she's kind of just going in for the fall and pray, which is cool.
Karrion Kross and Scarlett get this crazy epic horror metal entrance, and as the lights come back on and the smoke settles, he's going up against his opponent, who's got even a better entrance, who's just already in the ring, named Liam.
It was funny because because obviously they did this last time when it was against, was it Leon Ruff?
Was it? Yeah.
And we're saying, the lights came up after this entrance, we're like, oh, the dude is just already in the ring. So we were joking this time, it's and his opponent, Steve or Greg. And then we see this dude with Liam. But this is Liam Gray, who is actually, he's from Evolve and is in a faction with Leon Ruff, the Skulk. So maybe we're just going to see Karrion Kross kill every member of the Skulk.
Wow. He's going to kill all the Skulk?
Yeah.
Well, as soon as I saw the guy's name was Liam, I knew he was not winning a wrestling match here tonight. That's all I can say. Nothing. No offense to anyone named Liam, but if you're named Liam, you're probably not a wrestler.
Just don't have Liam on your pants.
Yeah.
If I was to have anything on my,
wouldn't say David.
Pants, it would say Portman.
There you go.
If anything, or something cooler than that. Not Dave.
Dave. Hey, who's that? It's Dave. It's Liam.
Dave.
Liam.
Liam.
You know, when bars were a thing, you worked at a bar, and you worked with another bartender named Liam. And you always say to me, fucking Liam. And that's what I thought about this guy. Well, you guessed it. Karrion Kross kills Liam. That's right. There's Northern Light suplex where he just carries the guy around the ring,
He
throws
does.
him around.
I thought he was going to go for like the is it Nick Jackson like locomotive suplexes, but he did one and just rolls through and then picks the guy up and just dumps him, absolutely destroying this guy.
The Saito suplex, which Morrow called the Doomsday Saito suplex. Not only is it a Saito, it's a Doomsday.
You can tell. I think I said this last week where the Saito suplex, it can look a pretty tame suplex if hit softly, but it can also look the most devastating move in wrestling because you're just dumping them on the head and the side of the neck. And I think Ruff sold it maybe a bit better a couple of weeks ago, but this still looks absolutely deadly.
And then he locks in the chicken wing, the choke there.
The what did he call it? The cross jacket.
The cross jacket, and Karrion Kross wins again here. This one wasn't as impressive because it kind of was just the exact same thing.
It was a carbon copy, really, but it was fine because we were building to the post-match angle.
Yes, which it does indeed. They're celebrating in the ring, and Ciampa's music hits. That's right. You forgot about that. Ciampa comes out. He says, "Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Tommaso Ciampa, and that ring, all of this is my home. And, you've, invaded me, and you think you're special. You come in here, and you take me out. You think you're special." And he's walking, as he's walking and talking towards the ring, and Scarlett, leans on the ropes and is like, "Come on
like
in.
Miss Elizabeth,
Let's chat.
letting in. Yeah.
Let's go. You want to talk?" I like that little thing here. She looks scary. She had eye contacts in and stuff.
I think it's the confidence that makes it scary.
Yeah.
The fact that normally kind of the valet, if you want to call her that, would sort of be cowering away behind the man, whereas she's like, "No, I don't care. Come in.
Yeah.
Come in, join us."
I wasn't a big fan of her before NXT, but I think these two look really good together.
Yeah.
I think these two will really work together. She lets him in. Ciampa says, "You're not special. In fact, I'm going to show you that. I'll show you that I'm special." On June 7th, it's Ciampa versus Kross, and that's special. Welcome to the Pain event. And he drops the mic, and they have a stare down, and you heard it here. June 7th, TakeOver in your house will be Ciampa versus Kross.
Part of me was wondering whether Ciampa had kind of decided to stay at home after the Johnny Gargano match. Clearly, that's not the case. Because he's back, and maybe that was a good thing. Kind of cool him off a bit, have us kind of forget that story is lingering, and build up Kross a little bit beforehand. I think this match is going to be killer. Pardon the pun.
Yes.
You said as we were watching this, is this going to be kind of the cinematic match?
Yeah. Will this be the cinematic match because it's these two who instantly just want to fight and kill each other? We don't really know why, but he took him out, so Ciampa wants some revenge. But it makes me wonder is this going to be the Cinematch? Which are we calling them Cinematch?
Cinematch, sure.
Cinematch, or is the so-called, what are we calling it? The Lion's Den?
Yeah.
That might be a Cinematch as well. So I'm not sure.
I don't know. I don't think that will be a Cinematch. I mean, they don't have to do a Cinematch.
Exactly.
But I think it's a good way to save the actual wrestling match for when we have crowds, if we have crowds, which I think we're starting to get a little closer to.
Yeah, I guess we'll see one day, but I don't know. We'll see. So that will happen at TakeOver in your house. Will it be a Cinematch? We'll see. But I'm kind of down for just a match. But I could see an angle where it prolongs it again, like him taking Ciampa out again.
It could do. I think it's just going to be... I think they're a great matchup for each other. Both just very violent, scary
dudes,
wrestlers.
Yeah.
But aren't just brawlers. Both wrestle as well.
Yeah.
So, I'm down for it.
Saito suplexes and knee strikes and bald heads.
Bald heads everywhere.
Great. Love me some bald heads. We have a recap of the Cruiserweight Championship. I literally wrote the recap of the Cruiserweight Classic, which is what it essentially is. Let's be honest.
it's the best of the Super Juniors.
Best of the Super Juniors.
In NXT.
Best of the C-Dubs.
Yes.
Best of the CWs. Which is showing us all the brackets of the two things and some matchup tonights with points that could turn into different
every week this point thing happens. I've got to explain to you.
I don't understand.
You're it's 2 blocks and these guys need to win. It's so who's in?
You lose. This is how a tournament should work.
Can Tony Nese still win?
If you lose, you lose. You're out. That's how it should be.
So you don't like the G1?
I hate always when the champ loses though in the G1. I do always hate that. But I hate that it's WWE never does this type of thing.
I think they've done a pretty good job with it here.
I like it here. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But it is confusing to me. Like, it took me a second to realize, so if this happens, then that's what's going to happen.
I think because they hadn't really brought up the idea of a tie until then. I think that's why I think it works easier with, like, the G1 because you have usually 8 people on each side. So you see more of a kind of leaderboard. Like, you see the standings afterwards, whereas everyone's just having 3 matches. Yeah. Really. So everyone's kind of at 2-1 unless you're Tony
The G1 makes sense to me. This one doesn't make sense. This one was a little like, oh, okay, well, why didn't you just... all right, okay. Well, now we know why they did it this way, I guess. Yeah. We'll get to that. But we do have a Cruiserweight Championship match, or Cruiserweight Tournament match, rather. Phantasma versus Akira Tozawa. Now, it's El Hijo?
El Hijo, I think.
El Hijo del Fantasma.
I believe so.
The son of the Phantom?
The son of the Phantom.
Okay. Versus Akira Tozawa. Beth Phoenix says this is Lucha versus Perezzo. So I know WH Park is very mad, and it's Perez. They go back and forth because it literally is Lucha versus Perez, because their styles are quite similar. Akira Tozawa is quite fast and technical, as is the Phantom here. Akira hits a baseball punch. There's then Phantom's on the outside. Akira Tozawa does this like crazy flying Rana to the outside, just sending this dude flying. And then if that wasn't enough, he does his classic running off the apron senton into the like guardrail right onto Phantasma as well, just taking him out 2 hot moves in a row. And then they go to commercial break. When they come back, it's Phantasma who hits this like splash on the apron.
It's like a running frog splash. Like it. Yeah. You're doing the tuck with this as well. It looked really cool. And it's on the hardest part of the ring.
The hardest part.
I don't know if Beth reminded us, but I'm sure she did.
She was thinking about it. She's itching to say it. The hardest part. She once said it's the most difficult part of the ring.
Yes.
I don't know if she knows what that means. I love Beth. I do. She's grown on me, but yeah. Phantasma has the offense. He's beating him down. Akira Tozawa hits the running Rey Mysterio or Drake Maverick style bulldog, where you like turn into the wheelbarrow and then you bulldog him, which then Tozawa climbs up to the top rope. And I know this dude does this senton. He's done it for years and he does it so good, but holy hell, this guy goes so high up in the air here.
He got extra height here, right? He looked so high for this.
This was crazy. He was higher than me than I was, because this was insane. The replay as well with the slow motion, this is insane. I'm sure this is gift or whatever, but high angle senton from Akira Tozawa off the top rope, but Phantasma like rolls out of the way. He gets out of this senton because it clearly would have been the finish. The height on this thing was crazy. They get back in the ring. Phantasma is scuffling back and forth. Tozawa goes for, I think, was a octopus stretch, but it's countered up onto the shoulders into the fireman carry, which then Phantasma hits the Samoan driver, which they're calling the Phantom driver. And the Phantom beats Tozawa. And El Hijo del Fantasma goes on to the finals, essentially, because he beats Tozawa in his block.
So he like very convincingly won Group B.
Yeah.
Everyone knocked out. I thought this match was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually really enjoyed this tournament, and it's funny with the cruiserweights. 205 just didn't work at all.
Yeah.
But whenever they did a cruiserweight tournament, obviously the initial Cruiserweight Classic, and then there was when they actually brought Drake Maverick in as the GM to kind of spice up the Cruiserweight division, and I think that's when, wasn't Roderick Strong in the Cruiserweight tournament that year, and it ended at WrestleMania. That finally got invested again, and then I believe they did another one after Enzo Amore left to crown a new champion.
Oh yeah.
And it's anytime they do a tournament, it's great, but I think the problem is it's filled with great wrestlers, but maybe not the personalities to actually carry storylines. Now moving it to NXT, it's helping so much, and we're starting to develop a bit more characters there. The matches have been killer. I really enjoyed this one especially. Tozawa looked great. As someone in the YouTube chat said, Wednesday nights he just has these superpowers, and then he goes to Monday Night Raw and he gets killed in 20 seconds. Whereas I think he's just preserving his energy
for Wednesdays.
It's like, look at me, look at Lashley. Why am I even gonna put up a fight? Just slam me 1, 2, 3. I've got a tournament to win on Wednesday.
Yeah, but we all know he's a way better wrestler than Lashley.
We all know that. Yeah.
Let's see Lashley get that height on that senton like that. Jeez, this is a gifable senton. This is one of the highest sentons.
It was fantastic.
Or the ramen noodle moonsault.
Yes.
Right? That's what it's called, right?
Is it that, or was it his rolling senton to the outside? Who cares? I don't think Lawler was even watching.
No. Yeah. Just terrible. Akira Tozawa with this thing just looks fantastic. But he loses. So the Phantom gonna advance in this Cruiserweight Classic, if you will. We have Timothy Thatcher, who's backstage. He's got some things to say. He only got a fraction of what he's done. You see, I was working your leg. I was beating you up, pulling on your everything. I was just making you hurt. But I only got a fraction of what I want to do. So I want to go one more time. And you see, you got lucky. You got a little pinfall there. But you see, I want a rematch where pinfalls don't count. Riddle, you won by pinfall. Well, I'm going to win by knockout or tap out. That's the only way. That's the match I challenge you to. So, Timothy Thatcher challenging him to what we're saying, Lion's Den.
Last week you said Bloodsport. I said Lion's Den, and it looks like that's exactly where they're going.
We will get to that in a little bit, the advancements. But oh boy, it's the moment I've been waiting for to talk about tonight. My highlight of NXT tonight is this vignette, this video package for Shotzi Blackheart.
I know you've already bookmarked this moment for as soon as we finish recording and I go back to my room, haven't we? Because I know you've saved this somewhere.
Bookmarked this vignette?
Yes.
Shotzi Blackheart is now on a tank.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't this tank bigger?
Her tank grew.
This has definitely grown.
Okay, let's describe this to you. Shotzi Blackheart has come out to the wrestling ring in a miniature tank that actually drives, like a little kid's toy tank thing that she drives down the ramp. She is now in this video in a tank.
I know why. I've just solved it. Rusev wasn't released when she came out on the mini tank.
Oh.
She's got his WrestleMania 31.
It's the same tank.
It's the same one.
She's been chilling in Florida.
Yeah. Just being like, Miro, can I have it? It's like, I ain't doing shit. I'm watching football on Twitch. Do what you want, Shots.
So Shotzi Blackheart has a tank. She's going to war. Shotzi says, yeah, I'm Shotzi Blackheart. I'm balls to the wall. Now, if that didn't catch your attention, this next line definitely caught mine. She says, who's your daddy? I'm your daddy.
I wonder if Ciampa has a bit of an issue with that.
What's the opposite of an issue? That's what I have with this.
Okay, yeah.
She says, I'm your daddy, and you're going to call me that. You see, some people, they take Ubers. Some people drive cars. Well, I rock in a tank, and this is how I roll. A 105 howitzer, I call her the dirty blonde.
I don't know if I thought this was brilliant or terrible or both. It was like, come on, it was entertaining. She's great. Shotzi Blackheart's great. But it's lines like, it's just like a tank, because tanks don't give a shit.
Yeah, she says that. She says tanks don't give a shit.
I'm just like a tank. And it's like, what are you on right now?
She says that she is bad to the bone and she's indestructible. She was raised by my dad.
I was raised by my dad.
What my friend? I grew up on rock and roll and punk rock. I joined a band, and as she's talking about this, you think she's like gonna crush a building. She's talking shit about the women's division.
I was ready for her to go full Pierce Brosnan in St. Petersburg.
Just go
GoldenEye, just not giving a fuck.
Yeah, she was going in it. She looks like she's gonna crush this building. This is an actual like abandoned building while she's in a fucking tank, and she says that she's like a renegade. She's a badass, and what you see is what you get. And what you get, you can't handle. And then she starts listing people like the women's roster in NXT, and she's crushing not buildings but cars, or one car.
Yeah, I didn't catch all of them, but she's like,
Dakota Kai.
Sorry, Chelsea Green, your makeup just got crushed. Candice LeRae, you're a pixie, I will crush you.
Yeah, she said that. She literally said that. So yeah, this was like the first time I heard the Beatles. I just fell in love. Like, I don't know what this was. I absolutely loved
someone
this.
in the YouTube room just summed it up. And this is where I was torn, where I was like, I don't know if I love this or I hate it.
Yeah.
The script was terrible. The script was terrible, but she was fantastic.
Yes.
She delivered it. And I can see some performers seeing this and being like, you're making me say, eat my tank.
Eat my tank.
Eat my tank. I was raised by my dad. But she delivered it so well. Like,
Who's your daddy?
I love this girl. I think she's fantastic.
I'm your daddy. Oh, man. This was one of the greatest things I've seen in 2020.
Your makeup just got crushed.
You know, I usually am honest with my NXT reviews, and I'll tell you, hey, if you don't watch and you just go pick and cherry pick stuff, this might be one to go watch. To
I'm
make
sure
you
it'll be
explain,
isolated on YouTube alone. Yeah.
just so you understand where we're coming from. I have mentioned on this show that Shotzi Blackheart is someone I have my eye on. I think she's gonna be a big star in WWE. Like not just NXT,
I think so,
but I think she's a future NXT Women's Champion. I think she is. This was so ridiculous that it worked for me.
100%.
We like watch wrestling. We eat our dinner. We talk, and we were watching NXT. Like, you know, and as soon as this came on, we just were like, oh well, I know I was glued to the TV, but I was like, what is going on? And we were laughing, and we're like, but she's also in a tank, so it's cool.
Yeah,
but it's so weird.
You've got to commit 110%,
and she did.
Even when the dialogue shit, and that's the difference between her and so many other people. Because so many people get given these trash lines and just look awful because they're uncomfortable. Because they're going, oh, I gotta say this. She just went, like, all in here.
She's just in a rock and roll tank.
Oh, she was fantastic.
She's Tank Girl.
Yeah.
Tank Girl with green hair. Absolutely love it.
Eat my tank.
Eat my tank. I'm gonna say that now. I'm gonna
Eat my tank.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it back. The Dirty Blonde. I can't get another. I'm gonna have to rewatch this. You're right, probably a few times. Loved this. It was so fucking weird. And you know what? Here I am praising this strange thing that a lot of people will be like, that was not for me, and I can understand it. But then we go to an NXT women's match, Mia Yim and Santana Garrett, which had all of the didn't have any of the sizzle from that last thing. That last thing was so wild, and then we go to a generic 2-minute match where I'm like, oh, now I'm sitting on my hands because we just. Look, that last thing was like you just did 5 picklebacks and you're like ready to go, and then I don't know where the women's division goes from that because, yeah,
I know what you mean. I think it's more kind of the order of stuff on the show. If you went from that to maybe the, I don't know, maybe like the Roddy Dexter Loomis match, it wouldn't matter so much. But you're right, going from that to
so much
the
personality.
women's division where. Like, we've said a bunch, like, we both like Mia Yim, but she's kind of always struggling to really find herself fully in NXT, I think. Mm-hmm. So, and going from someone who has been there for a couple of months and has fully found herself.
You know why? She just doesn't have a tank.
Yeah, she doesn't.
You know? Sometimes you just don't have a tank.
Sometimes you need a tank.
Sometimes you need a tank. Should we get one?
Get a tank.
I got a skateboard.
We got a back garden now,
I gotta slow down.
Yeah,
we got our back garden now. With our back garden table. My mom did a social distance, just dropped off a back garden table for us. We're set with our...
Maybe we'll do the AEW review outside tomorrow. If it's nice.
In the backyard?
Yeah.
Patreon exclusive. I want a tank now. That's all I know. Mia Yim versus Santana Garrett, sorry. Mia Yim, Santana Garrett, and Santana Garrett comes out kind of dressed as a pirate.
Well, I guess Tegan Nox has the Wonder Woman thing going on now. Or Captain Marvel.
Right.
So, Santana came out in a weird hat.
Beth Phoenix says Santana Garrett makes her own outfits.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, she
looked fine.
She looked fine. It was the hat.
The hat. You just don't like hats.
I don't like... I don't know.
You don't
Same
like
with
hats
that.
on
What's her name? Ali J? Well, no, what's her name in AEW?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
She's cool, but I'm like, what is that fucking hat you're wearing? Unless you're Cameron Grimes, don't wear a hat.
Unless you're Cameron Grimes,
there's only one person in wrestling who can wear a hat, and that's Cameron Grimes.
The weird hat. Well, Santana Garrett comes out like one of Hook's henchmen, essentially. Comes out to face Mia Yim. There's Santana Garrett, who does have some offense on Mia Yim. There's then a back handspring elbow from Garrett. Then she hits a snap suplex. Mia Yim fights back and clearly has been watching AEW. Mia Yim has, because she saw Taz's in-depth look at the Snapdragon suplex.
Yes.
And here is Mia Yim doing a dragon suplex here, the full Nelson into the back suplex there. Then there's a series of Kawada kicks, which Morrow calls them, which then connects to protect your neck. And Mia Yim pins Santana Garrett. This was not that much, but
I actually thought for a 90-second 2-minute match,
it was very quick.
I thought this was pretty good. I thought, despite Mia Yim having a very strong, convincing, quick win, Santana Garrett looked impressive in the shit she managed to get in this time as well. We were kind of joking about going from Shotzi to this, but for a 2-minute squash match, I thought it was pretty decent.
Well, it was all to set up Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae, who comes out. And as you know, Mia Yim's theme song is I'm the HBIC, and we walk around the house and we do the I'm the HBIC or CIBC.
I bank at the CIBC.
And out comes Johnny Gargano doing that. He goes, I'm that CIBC. He says, hey, Mia, wow, you won. And Candice says, Mia, you won something. Gargano's wearing his white space jacket, and Candice is wearing an inverted, like, skeleton kind of top thing. Both looking cool. And they said, Mia, you're the one who keeps dropping the ball. You get an opportunity after opportunity.
And Johnny just goes, dropped it like it's hot.
Johnny's just on one tonight. Johnny playing the heel. You see, I would have loved an opportunity like the one you've got, but I just didn't get one. And Johnny says, yeah, you know, babe, you would have done it a lot of things. You wouldn't have blown it like you know who, pointing at Mia Yim. When someone gets an opportunity they don't deserve, well, we take care of things in our new NXT. So Johnny goes to, like, into the ring, but Mia attacks him, which gives Candice the distraction, the upper hand. Mia gets the upper hand, sends her into the ropes, but Johnny pulls the ropes. Mia flies out, and as they're laughing, like about to beat her up or something, out comes Keith Lee. He runs out. Then the Garganos decide to hit the road. They get out of there, and as they're walking off, Johnny's like, "Oh, you're a big boy, huh? Nuh-uh." And they walk off. So you can guess where this is leading to.
Now, I, like, you know, we both love Johnny Gargano here in the BDE.
Yes.
We both love Candice LeRae. Both are incredible performers. I don't know if this is a main event act here. I think both are main event performers for sure, but these characters, I don't see it as a main event act. I see this as like a kind of Miz and Maurice sort of thing. Done very well. Like, they're performing it well. There's no fault in it. But do I see this type of Johnny Gargano headlining a takeover? No.
I don't know. I actually could eventually. It's still so fresh. So I think, you know what? I think you will be seeing this character in the main event spot again.
It would have to change. Like, this is comedy heel stuff.
Yeah.
Done well. But for me, it's not main event. It would have to tweak a bunch.
Sure.
I kind of see maybe down the line Carrion and Scarlett just killing these two in a mixed tag. But I'm enjoying it. I don't get me wrong. I think Johnny Gargano's hilarious here.
Yeah,
just
I think he is.
Doing his white boy rapping stuff.
I'm that.
They're obnoxious. They're playing it very well. I just don't see it as a main event act.
I think it could down the line because this is still so fresh. But I think him as a heel does kind of work for me because he's annoying.
He is, yeah.
I think he's one of the best baby faces ever, in my opinion, in wrestling history.
Too.
And I think that now that with this heel character, you know what? I think it will. And that's a challenge there. There's the challenge to make that kind of work and to give him a run. He could be the guy who is the greatest wrestler but always cheats and wins and stuff still. Like, you know, anything of that kind of caliber can win.
Someone in the YouTube room has said that I see it as a way to do different stuff with him for a while not being in the main event scene, which is a good point.
Exactly.
Because I think people were kind of, as good as he was, just rejecting him because he was, as wrestling fans like to say, shoved down our throats.
Yeah. Johnny kick out.
Yeah, so maybe you're right. Maybe it isn't a main event act, but that's a deliberate thing to keep them kind of as this entertaining kind of middle of the show thing for a while. And you can easily just slot him into the main event
Again
down the line, but give some other guys a chance at the top first.
You know who needs a shot at the top first?
Who's that?
Cameron Grimes.
Cameron Grimes,
Cameron Grimes, bitch. Never forget. Cameron Grimes is doing one of his own kind of, not quite the level of Shotzi, where it's just him doing like a selfie thing in a garden somewhere. In his hat.
Garden's a nice word for it, but yeah.
It wasn't a garden. It was a grassy fence. Cameron Grimes says, never forget. I used to look up to Finn Balor. Well, last week I caved him in, and then he was looking up at me. Ho ho! He says that was an upset, and the people were surprised, but I don't care. All I know is it's grime time, baby.
Time.
It's grime time, baby.
I realise what Cameron Grimes reminds me of.
Heath Slater?
No, the wacky waving inflatable arm tube men.
Al Herrington, my grandpa.
Watch him when he celebrates, because he's quite tall, he's skinny, and he's just like flopping. When he's celebrating, he's just like flopping all over the place.
Why is he?
And I'm pretty sure they wear silly hats as well.
Why is he always so like so much energy? So like. Well,
they don't test in NXT. I believe.
They don't do testing down there. I'm Cameron Grimes. I beat you, Finn Balor.
I love him. I can see so many people hating this guy. It tickles me.
He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing, and it's fantastic. I think this guy is so good. Now there's a little side feud we have there. He can always say he beat Finn Balor.
Absolutely.
He said, "I beat you. You were the guy who ran this place. Well, I took you out." We have Drake Maverick backstage. He says, "Hope is all people think I have. I am the underdog story. Tonight I have to face Kushida. He's the best of the juniors, the best of the cruisers, the best there is. Well, you see, Bret Hart I am not, but I am tired. I'm tired of second guessing. So I'm going to do one thing tonight. Win."
The thing I took from it is he's going, I'm fed up of the pep talks and the TED talks and people going like, come on, Drake, you can do this.
You can do
it. I'm fed up with that. And I feel that's still going to play into a part a bit with the fact that Jake Atlas was ringside the whole time being like, Drake, you can do it. The fact that Drake brought that up in this promo, I feel there's more story to be had between those two.
So he's not released.
Hey, who knows?
We'll see. Well, tonight he says he's going to win, but will he do that when he faces Kushida a little later on? But up next is Roderick Strong and the Undisputed Era, who come down to the ring. Adam Cole says next week is going to be a celebration because it's the 1-year anniversary of him winning the NXT title 1 year ago.
That's crazy. We don't see...
NXT TakeOver 25 it was.
Yeah, we don't see too many long reigns. I mean, I guess Becky was the last one and she relinquished the title, but year plus long reigns, it's a long time, and I don't see any challenges for him right now.
No, I don't see
no
any
real threat to take that away from him. So I see him holding this for a couple more months at least.
Me too. I think so. As they come down to the ring, they're cheering Roddy on because he is going to be facing Dexter Lumis, as we heard from their Zoom call last week. And as Roddy's going down to the ring, Roddy says, "Yeah, come here, you big creepy dork." So, I love Roddy. This is going to sound super insulting, but we know we love his wrestling. Yeah.
I feel he's like the runt of the litter of Undisputed Era, and he's the guy they always send out. Like, go on, Roddy. Like, last week when it's like, who's going to do it? And he's the eager one, like, I'll do it. It's like, Roddy will do it. And I feel this is, like, Big Creepy Dork is probably something he heard his older brothers Bobby and Adam say. It's like, oh, that Big Creepy Dork, Dexter Lumis. And he's coming here, like, puffing his chest. Yeah, come on, you big creepy dork.
Yeah, Roddy is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Hands down.
Look at him compared to when he started in NXT. I mean, we've been watching him for years and years before that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But this dad character, lack of personality, his promos entertain me. I still wouldn't say he's the best, but he's found this he's found this role that works for him, and he's so entertaining and so full of personality. And I don't think he'd have got that on his own. He needed the Undisputed Era to like get this out of him.
Well, he needed to call someone a big creepy dork.
Yes,
that's what. I mean, if you were to describe Dexter Lumis, he's a big creepy dork. Have you ever called someone? I've been called a big creepy dork.
There's a line I like using from the play Matilda.
Oh, I've seen it.
Written by Tim, the Australian comedian, I can't remember.
Okay.
But Miss Trunchbull calls Matilda, "Now look here, you nasty little creep."
Ooh.
And I think that's great. I call my girlfriend a nasty little creep all the time.
I heard you call her something else the other day, but I can't say that word on a podcast.
It's all in jest. It's all in jest.
I literally was about to open my room door to like leave, and then I heard you say it, and then I heard her go, "Did you just call me?" And I went, "I'm gonna wait before I leave right now. I'm gonna go put some music on and disappear." Big Creepy Dork versus the dad of NXT. Roderick Strong. Roderick Strong versus Dexter
Have
Loomis.
We said it is... Okay, it is Dexter
It
Loomis.
is Dexter Loomis. The big creepy dork is Dexter Loomis.
It's like, Tattoo Jack wasn't on this week, so are we just replacing Dexter
We need
Loomis
someone
with
to punch.
Big Creepy Dork?
The big creepy dork who comes out to the Stranger Things theme but dresses like Dexter from Dexter. He slides into the ring like I slide into DMs. He's staring around creepy. And as the match starts, Roddy says to him, "You made a big mistake, pal."
I found the opening segment of this, the opening part of this match, so entertaining because Roddy is your wrestler. Like, everyone has their different styles in wrestling. Roddy will go for like the chain wrestling start for match, go for a collar and elbow, go for a wrist lock, that kind of thing. And Roddy's putting his hands out to grapple with Dexter Loomis.
And he's just
and Dexter just has his hands by his side and isn't doing anything. And Roddy's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" It was really funny, just that opening bit of the match.
He just stares at him.
It's something we've seen in every wrestling match for years and years. And just to play off of that a little bit, I found very entertaining.
Well, he can't get him to wrestle him, but he finally does. Dexter, the big creepy dork, starts doing different like side chain wrestling, and they're getting very technical. In fact, he out-technical wrestles Roddy, who gets a little frustrated, goes to the outside, and he's like, and he runs back in. He gets a body slam, and then Dexter leg drops him as well. Roddy then hits a right hand, and then Dexter fights back with like a classic running bulldog. There is a backbreaker on the apron from Roddy. When they come back from break, they're in the middle of the ring. Roddy is beating him down and has like a submission hold on him. And as he's locking the move in, like an abdominal stretch or something, Dexter looks at him in the eyes, and Roddy's like, "Stop looking at me," and like punches him and keeps the hold going. And then he's like selling the move, and then Dexter slowly just turns his head and his eyes and just locks in on him. He's like, "Stop looking at me," and he like freaks out and he starts beating Dexter down like crazy. And the commentary here, Beth, Byron, and Morrow are like, "Oh, he's spooked. He's so scared. He's crazy." And then he hits an angle slam on Dexter. So I don't know if he was that scared.
Yeah.
But Dexter gets back up. There's the Luthez press. There's a slingshot suplex. There's then a chop battle where Roddy is like just literally chopping so hard that Dexter's chest is red, like a piece of meat. But he's like liking it. He's into that. He's into the pain stuff. And he gets up, and they go back and forth, and Roddy somehow gets out of, was it like, there was some sort of leg hold where Roddy kind of gets out of that and gets sort of, we watched the guy Darby Allin does his Last Supper, kind of the roll-up submission type thing. It was almost like that here, where Roddy gets a kind of sneak roll-up victory over the big creepy dork. But right after the match, Dexter crawls out afterwards and then locks in an arm triangle on Roddy right after the match. But before I kind of explain what happens after, what did you think of Dexter Loomis and Roderick Strong?
I enjoy both. I like Dexter Loomis's character. I wish he would... I think he's a good wrestler as well, but I wish he'd wrestle more like his character. He does little bits like the staring and stuff, but then just looks kind of too normal for a bunch of it. I watched obviously the first 2 episodes of The Last Ride, but mainly the Austin podcast with Undertaker, where Undertaker's saying about when he was young and athletic and first got this Undertaker gimmick, and he was like, it was so frustrating for me because I had to walk like a zombie and be super slow, but I knew that's what the character needed.
Right.
I knew that I could do these leaps over the top rope and stuff like that, but I had to first wrestle like a zombie, and then I started introducing these kind of bursts of speed. So I'd be stalking my opponent, and then I'd go in for like quick strikes. And And I think that's something that this character needs. Sure, I get the guy can wrestle and probably wants to show that off. But when you're trying to get this character over, I want to see you wrestle more like a serial killer, if that's what your character is. And then when you've kind of got that over with the audience, then you can show off a bit more your wrestling ability.
I mean, in TNA Impact, he literally had a serial killer thing where he like chased people and like maybe murdered people.
Right.
So I don't want it to go that far.
Not that far, but just your wrestling.
Yeah.
And I think his submission's perfect. Like having a kind of choke submission.
Yeah, the arm triangle
that
thing.
makes complete sense if that's your character. But I don't really want to see you be doing hip tosses and shit like that.
The story was like Roddy is the technical wrestler and he got out technical wrestled, but then he still won anyways. So it doesn't really do Dexter that much, but he looked fine. This was his best showing.
Good. Like I think he's decent, but I want to see him go even further with this character.
Yeah, it needs to go
wrestling wise, not kidnapping people and killing them, but just in the ring.
Yeah.
And I felt that all over WWE. I felt that with Finn Balor for so long. It's the demon was exactly the same as Finn Balor, but in face paint. Whereas I always felt with him, he puts that paint on it and wrestles a completely different style and is more vicious. And we finally started to see that, ironically, not in paint, but just
when he's
being
prince.
A heel, being the prince.
The prince. Dexter does need to kind of work on that. Well, Dexter has the arm triangle on Roderick Strong, like kind of outside the ring on the entrance ramp after this match, where Adam Cole and Bobby Fish come down and start to kick him in the head, which he doesn't break the hold.
Which is great. Like, that was great.
He's just like, nah.
Nah, I'm not letting go.
He's no-selling this. And Adam Cole gets really mad and takes out his hair tie, like his own hair tie. And usually people put their hair up, things are about to go down. But Adam Cole is taking his hair down and things are about to go down. And he goes for a super kick, but out comes the Velveteen Dream in a yellow bandana, like Hulk Hogan, and an Undisputed Era t-shirt. He beats up Bobby Fish. He beats up Adam Cole with a super kick. He climbs to the top rope, and then he jumps for the Purple Rainmaker elbow drop. But Adam Cole is on the other side of like the
He's where the crowd would be sitting.
The crowd would be sitting.
Yeah.
And then it's just like an edited shot where Dream like is landing on top of him. So I'm just not sure if this was not live and pre-edited because it looked like it was.
I believe this show was taped last week. There's no way he did an elbow drop from the top rope into the crowd on the floor in front of no one.
Yeah.
Like this was edited.
It had to be.
And I don't like it for this show. I think do something like that in like that one final beat Ciampa Gargano.
Yeah.
Do a spot like that maybe once or twice for those kind of things. For just a beat down, like a save at the end on a TV show, and also I just don't believe it. I'm watching it go, you didn't do that.
This whole thing was weird because I'm seeing here associate producer and friend of the show John Cena is saying that next week's celebration for Adam Cole is now canceled, and instead it's going to be an in-ring meeting with William Regal. So there's going to be some sort of announcement, I think, regarding the title at least. You would imagine.
I groaned when Velveteen Dream came out, and this is controversies aside. Just I haven't been into this story, and we've had the match now, so I'm not too bothered about seeing the match again. I kind of feel maybe it's not going towards a championship match, and we're going to get a 6-man because Undisputed are out of the tag picture now.
Sure,
like they don't seem fussed about going after those titles. So with Dexter Loomis in the mix, I feel
with who else? Dream, Dexter, and what? Or maybe just a tag.
Who else is there? Unless it's handicap or.
Yeah, I don't know. It's strange because Dexter.
We've still got a few weeks, so you can introduce a third person into the mix. I'm trying to think who's not got a program who's like a big deal right now.
Adam Cole versus Dream versus Dexter Loomis. No, Dexter lost tonight. He doesn't deserve a title shot, realistically.
No, it wouldn't be a title shot. I feel tag is the way to go because no one's hot enough for a title match.
This match and segment kind of didn't do too much for me. Like the match itself was fine. I agree with you on the Dexter thing. He needs to kind of change the way he wrestles a bit to kind of stand out because he stands out, but his wrestling doesn't. So
is Cole stale?
Yeah, true. He doesn't have an opponent. That's why he doesn't have an opponent. He just doesn't have a feud because wrestling's fucked right now. As is the world. We have Rhea Ripley, who's backstage pacing because tonight she goes one-on-one with Io Shirai in the main event for the number one contenders for the women's title. During the commercial break where we come back from, we see Akira Tozawa and El Io del Fantasma in the parking lot here. Now, we're already spider sense tingling. We're like, okay, something's going on. And he's like, hey, amigo, muchas gracias. You know, we had a fantastic match, and, you know, it was good. You put up a good fight. And Akira's like, hey, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Akira Tozawa is wearing an Ultimo Dragon, like, Mexican wrestling gym t-shirt. And he's like, I like your shirt. Good shirt.
I think, didn't it say champion on it as well? And I think he was going like, you can be a champion. I'm pretty sure it said Champion's Gym or something.
And he's like, and he's getting in his car. And as he's getting in his car,
he calls him Loco as well.
Loco, you loco.
It's like, that's Senton, you did. Loco. You loco, you crazy.
A car pulls up, and it's the mysterious luchador kidnapper people. And they try to kidnap, they beat up Akira Tozawa. And Phantasma's like, watching this, he's like, so he goes out the other side of his car.
This made sense. They were pinning him against the door, so Phantasma can't come out to save. So he's got to do that awkward thing where I was going to say crawl over the gear stick, but this is US and you don't know how to drive stick there. But yeah, crawling over, getting out the other side.
And beating him up.
Yeah.
So he goes, the luchadors flee. They hurt Akira, though, like he's kind of injured. And they drive off in their van, and Phantasma's like, jeez, those fucking
And as
guys.
he said, Akira's doing the Peter Griffin.
Phantasma's like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
Essentially. So what's the deal? Is he still running these guys? He beat Tozawa. Why would he need to attack him?
I feel this is going to be the reveal. I think they're trying to swerve you with like them trying to kidnap Phantasma, but him getting away, and this here. I feel it'll be revealed probably once he wins the champion or during that championship match.
Drake Maverick is winning the championship.
So you think Drake will win the triple threat and go on?
We'll see. We'll see. So we'll see what happens with this kidnapping mystery. Taken. I have a particular set of skills. Not that great, considering they can't kidnap him.
It's been this has been going for a while now. This was happening when we had crowds. So
sure.
It's kept my interest, and it's given a bit more to the cruiserweight division, which is great.
I know in today's time, the streets in the world are kind of starting to fill back up, but there's some crazies out there. And if I was out in a parking lot somewhere and two dudes in luchador masks showed up and tried to put me in their van, I'd be scared. I know I would be. Don't
sanitizer to the eyes. I've always got that on me now.
True.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how they should roll here to stop these kidnappings and assaults in the parking lots in Florida.
Dark Star in the YouTube room has just said Drake will get kidnapped, and that will be how they write him off TV.
Maybe he doesn't make it to the triple threat because he gets kidnapped.
Yeah. Before
the match happens. Only time can tell. Also Akira Tozawa won't be on Raw anytime soon because he got injured here. He's hurt.
True. Yeah.
His ribs or something. His breathing. Give him a ventilator. We have Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch. David, are you ready?
I am.
It's time. We haven't done it in a while.
Throw him up.
Throw him up. Oni.
Danny.
Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch return to NXT, and we are excited. We are big fans of these guys. Have you seen Oni Lorcan and his dog?
Of course.
Oni Lorcan and his dog, maybe. We need to get one. We should get a dog and name it Oni.
Can we get a dog now? No, we got a back garden.
Just call it Oni.
Oni?
Oni!
Oni!
Yeah.
The dog just comes over, shaking.
When you want the dog to do paw, you go throw him up.
Love it.
Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch are, in fact, throwing him up. And out come, if you weren't excited yet, with the Brit Am Brawlers, with Oni and Burch, guess who their opponents are? Quebec's own Ever-Rise.
Ever-Rise, yeah.
They're back.
NXT favorites.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember their names. It's like Chase Parker,
Chadwick Boseman, and
as long as it's not Liam.
It's Liam and Chris.
Steve and Craig.
can't remember. What happened to JC and Chris?
JC and Chris?
Are they
ever
still signed? Are they ever rise?
Wow. That would be a murder
JC
mystery.
and Chris. No, they're the something... Nitro Bro? No, I can't remember.
The Nitro
what
Bros?
Are they?
No,
No.
they're definitely not.
No.
Everrise from the
John Cena will know.
Quebec wrestling world here, kind of our territory-ish. Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch. Someone's saying they went by like the Metro Boys or something like that.
That's JC and Metro Boys. Yeah, I was close. Nitro Boys, Chris. Metro Boys. Come on.
Yeah, but then who's Everrise?
Everrise are just Everrise.
They're just Everrise.
I just think of Terrorizing. You know, Triple H.
Triple H.
Yeah, that's
Terrorizing. I like Terrorizing. So Everrise is in the ring. They got kind of a Young Bucks look going on, to be honest. They look good. They look like improved. They look nice.
They've done a few things on like Raw, I believe, recently.
Yeah. The Metro Brothers. Yeah, the Metro Brothers is what in the YouTube chat room are missing them.
Look at these guys.
Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch do in fact throw them up. If you were wondering if they did that tonight, they did go.
Oh, they did.
They threw them up. There's drop kicks from Danny Burch, sending one like a springboard flying drop kick. There's a headbutt. He tags in Oni. He comes in. He's on fire. He hits like a dragon screw. I think it is Chase Parker. He's beating him up here. It's a nasty looking dragon screw. Tanahashi would applaud that. There's then this crazy European uppercut. Then the single leg crab. And as the other guy tries to break that up, Danny puts him in the crossface. The double submission. The double tap out. The single leg crab giving an ode to former WWE staff Lance Storm.
Yes.
Jeez. I hope he come. I don't understand that. But
I think all of them are furloughed.
Okay.
So
he'll come back.
I believe so.
Well, he gets a shout out here. And the victory from Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch beating Everrise.
I thought Danny showed more steam here as well. Like, not that he lacked it, but he was being a lot more vocal. We got which I miss from Londoner, have it.
Have at it.
Have it.
Ah.
So that was great. They wrestle like they're on cocaine. Right? Like, the way they came into this match, they just steamrolled these guys in 2 minutes. I think they're fantastic, and we're gearing up for a match between them and the Imperium.
Yes.
Which will be cracking.
Well,
I'm all about that.
Well, after NXT aired, there was like a WWE Twitter thing with Danny Burch and Oni Lorcan, and they basically challenge Imperium to an NXT title match, and he don't give a crap, and I'm too British for this bollocks. So, I love Danny Burch and Oni Lorcan. They're a little intense for some people. And yes, Everrise is Chase Parker and Matt Martel. No relation to Chase Peter and Rick Martel. Yeah. So we get a recap of the Garganos, and we see Keith Lee, who has requested an interview. He says, yes, you are correct. I have requested this. I saw that dinner party last week at the Garganos. Dinner at the Garganos? Who in the bluest of blue hells records themselves eating dinner?
Well, if you go on youtube.com/upNXT for Double or Nothing this Saturday,
mukbang.
The Brady and the Davie Portman will very much probably be eating along with that.
At some point.
We do, Keith. Smooth operator, you.
I still don't understand how mukbang is a thing where people on YouTube just film themselves eating food and like get tons and millions of views. Like, that's a thing. Like, if you think listening to a podcast about wrestling is crazy and niche, try watching videos of just people eating food.
I think there's like nerdism and entertainment and that kind of thing, and then there are fetishes. They're different things.
Food, it could be in that. I don't know.
Come on.
Chocolate maybe, but like
just watching someone eat, that's definitely a fetish.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
More so than entertainment, surely.
Huh. What about owning a tank?
I think that can be both.
Keith Lee says, Gargano and you and your stupid dinner. Well, I saw what you had to say, and I don't have a problem about anything you guys are doing or the dinners you're eating. He says, yeah, go ahead and eat your chicken salad and your chicken and your Caesar salad. But I have a problem with your antics. Your new Gargano way. Well, you know what? The Gargano way reaches its limit at TakeOver. And that's all he leaves us with that.
Yeah. we're both assuming this is a mixed tag match, right? But
Yeah.
they've left it open here, so maybe they're not entirely sure which way they're going to go. I think it makes way more sense to do the mixed tag now, because then you can build to the big singles matches.
I agree.
Later.
I agree.
And I think Keith Lee Gargano especially is a match
that's a main event Takeover Mania.
Like you can hold that. So
in my opinion,
if you can get a bit more steam out of this, I'd start with the mixed tag.
Yeah, I agree. That's a program you can save.
But otherwise, if they're doing the 2 singles matches, I see them blowing off the mixed tag on TV in the next few weeks.
I want Gargano and Candice to face Keith Lee and Mia Yim, but Keith Lee puts this title on the line, and that's how Gargano gets it.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Keith Lee can go on to challenge Adam Cole at the next big thing for the title. And then Gargano can spin off and do the North American thing and go off with that with this heel character and give it some steam.
I think, Keith Lee maybe needs to move up to that
definitely.
Adam Cole feud at some point soon.
We have an announcement of the theme song for TakeOver in Your House, which is Code Orange, who actually do the Bray Wyatt Fiend theme, who are killing it, I think, on like Twitch and stuff. Sounds pretty cool. I will say, I know we are the NXT show. Kenny Omega's Battle Cry theme has been stuck in my... I think that song has grown on me so much. That is a banger. Battle Cry, Kenny Omega theme for AEW. Can't stop listening to that theme. It's so good. It's up next is Drake versus Kushida, and we see Io Shirai, who's backstage getting ready, stretching for her match later tonight. We come back, we have Matt Riddle with a video here, interview here. He looks at the camera, and Matt Riddle is pissed. He says, "Trashy Tim." It's no longer Stallion Tim. It's Trashy Tim. "You must think you're pretty cool, disrespecting me and Stallion Pete and attacking me, and, well, I came back and I beat you, bro. You tried to break the bro's wing. You're not a Stallion. You're a putz. You want to fight with no pinfall? You want a knockout or tap out? Well, I'm down, bro. Where do you want to fight?" "Well, I know where we could fight. We should fight somewhere we're both familiar with. In the cage."
Yeah.
And ends with that. Matt Riddle basically saying what we all thought, that they're going to fight in some sort of cage. First they say no pinfall, submission and knockout, and now a cage. So what?
It's still like they're advertising it as a cage fight.
Cage fight next week.
Next week, which I thought this would be at the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So that's a surprise.
I think something cheeky happens.
Unless we have something happen next week. With it being on TV next week, I think we are going to see just the traditional cage with submission and knockout only.
Okay.
I would like to see that kind of Lion's Den Octagon sort of thing happen, because I do think, as you don't have a crowd at the moment, this is the perfect time to do it.
Do the Lion's Den, Octagon, any type of cage fighting, UFC, MMA thing. Just do it. You can make it Cinematch. You could do it, whatever. But yeah, this sounds great. Matt Riddle reminds me of Wayne Campbell from Wayne's World.
Okay.
That I'm finally understanding. He wears the hat. He's got long hair. He's like, instead of saying dude, he says bro, and it's like, excellent. And he called Tim trashy. I fucking love Trashy Tim.
I love how Matt Riddle is just, you know, those really nice people who, when you hear like that guy that never says a bad word about anyone.
Yeah.
And then when one day he's like, "Hey, that person is really nasty and rude," and you're like, whoa. It's like they called him a raging See You Next Tuesday, because you're not used to that. That's Matt Riddle. Like, Matt Riddle, you feel everyone's his friend, and him here calling
everyone's his bro
Tim trashy is like,
Trashy Tim.
Oh, that's a huge insult.
He's a putz.
Yeah.
Trashy Tim. He does look trashy. So next week's the cage fight. Not a cage match.
Cage fight.
We have a fight right now. The Cruiserweight tournament continues. It's Kushida versus Drake Maverick, the Wolf of NXT. I'm not fucking leaving. I'm not leaving. Kushida, Drake Maverick, one-on-one. It's do or die for Drake Maverick. If he loses this, WWE and him go no more. That's it. I mean, regardless, he's let go. But at this point, he can continue on if he wins this match. Kushida and him go back and forth. There's Drake kind of has the offense. He's doing anything he can here. He runs at Kushida and in midair just like gets a drop kick. Kushida then does his classic Tajiri style back handspring into the elbow. Drake, though, the story of this match is like, no, I'm not giving anything up. I'm just going to keep kicking you at any point I can.
I didn't realize until the match started how perfect this is. Kushida being kind of his final hurdle. Kushida's finisher is a submission. And that means Drake has to literally quit to be done in WWE. So it was such a beautiful story to tell throughout this match. Kushida continuously going for that submission.
Different ones.
And Drake just screaming, going, no, I'm not done. And don't call off the match. Like, because every second he holds on is another second still employed by this company.
It's fair. Yeah. Every time he's like getting beat down, he's like kicking back. He's like, no, I'm not going out like this. Like, he's like a tantrum. Like, no, I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving. Out comes the dude in the rainbow jacket, Jake Atlas. Now you have a theory that he's here to like kind of start a little feud with Drake Maverick, maybe cost him something.
Someone raised a good point that you feel like Jake is cheering on Drake. Jake is cheering on Drake because of this whole story with his contract being terminated and stuff like that. But he needs Drake to win to stop Kushida going through. With Drake winning, it makes it a 3-way tie.
Right.
So you could definitely turn it where Jake is a bit of a heel. I don't know if it suits his character, him going that way, but definitely you can look at it two ways. He only wants Drake to win to keep alive in this tournament.
Because he's like, hey, I want you to have a job and make money.
That's on the surface, but underneath, if Drake wins this match, Jake is going to the finals.
Kushida continues to beat down on Drake Maverick here. There's a body slam. He's trying to work on the arms. He's trying to get out. He does, however, get the hoverboard locked in, and we think it's all over for Drake Maverick, but he somehow gets out. He's fighting back, like I said. He's doing kicks. He's doing punches. I swear at one point he hits like a palm strike almost to Kushida here.
I think it's when Kushida's got the hoverboard locked in on the turnbuckle. And Drake just like fires back with the palm strike.
Now we've seen Drake get a point here by using this new move that we've seen. I called it like how Rey Mysterio. Actually, we saw someone do it earlier, and Akira Tozawa did it earlier. It's you wheelbarrow yourself into the guy and then you bulldog them. Rey Mysterio does it a million times. Drake did it, however, off the top rope, and that's how he got a victory.
So this moment was really cool because obviously we've seen Kushida do these flips into the armbar off the top rope, but also Drake's finisher is this bulldog, so they're both battling
to try to hit
try and hit it.
So he goes for this wheelbarrow off the top, but like you said, it's countered in midair into this cross arm breaker. Just looks beautiful. You think it's all over. Drake Maverick, no one has escaped these crazy arm trap moves from Kushida. And as he's got this cross arm breaker in, it's locked in. Drake Maverick rolls his body over, getting Kushida's shoulders kind of to the mat. And Drake Maverick gets the 3 count. Drake Maverick wins it. Drake pins Kushida. Therefore, it's a tie in the tournament. Therefore, he's not fucking leaving. He's going on to face Kushida and Jake Atlas. Next week, it's announced a triple threat match, and the winner of that goes on to the finals. Oh, boy. And, they say, who's the man?
I really enjoyed this match. I thought the storytelling was so good. I think any match that makes me forget that there's no crowd is a good match.
True, yeah.
And this absolutely happened here. Gotta feel a bit sorry for poor Tony Nese there, because you got 4 people in your group and 3 of them went through and you didn't.
He's premier.
But God bless him, Tony.
So this was a lot of fun. I love Kushida, obviously, and Drake Maverick. It's weird because we obviously think Kushida should be the one to win this whole thing because he's the big star, in my opinion, here, and he deserves some sort of like big push here. I think. But then you have this story with Drake Maverick. This is the monkey wrench in your tournament here. I know there was a little documentary on Drake Maverick, and it involves him with his walking papers that were sent to him, and it's a whole thing. Are we being worked? If we are, you guys did a good job. And if it wasn't, and then you turned it into it, cool. Whatever it is, it's been some compelling story.
I feel 100% it was legit that he was released.
Yeah.
I believe that. Whether they've seen how this story's gone and he's got himself a job back might be the case, or they might just be doing this fantastic write-off. I think if you are writing him off, that's where you pull the trigger with revealing who the leader of this masked faction is.
It's Drake.
No, I think like when Jeff Hardy didn't CM Punk write off Jeff Hardy when he left for a long time, and it got great like heel heat for Punk.
That was pretty much, Jeff, you're a mess. You're terrible.
You're a mess, and if you lose this match, you're out. And Jeff was gone for
and then arrested 2 weeks later or something.
So I think this is a great opportunity. Drake Maverick is maybe the most sympathetic character in WWE, maybe in wrestling right now.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna pull the trigger with this heel faction, you do it to screw over Drake. Yeah. Unless Drake is winning this tournament, you either do it in the final for the championship or you do it next week in the triple threat. I think it's bigger if you save it for the championship matchup, which I assume is at In Your House.
Yeah, I agree. The interim cruiserweight finals is at In Your House with Phantasma versus whoever wins this triple threat next week. So it could be Maverick, it could be Kushida, it could be Atlas. All three guys are kind of contending.
I don't see it being Atlas. Sure. I think he's great, but he can go there. He can get there later on.
He's still fresh here.
It's Drake or Kushida for me, and I think there's more to be had with Drake.
I think Kushida is one of my favorites, but the story of Drake is way more kind of exciting right now.
Absolutely,
it came in natural, and it's working, so I'm all for it. It's really good. Really like this match. Was a lot of fun. We have a video for Rhea Ripley. She's in the main event a little later, and she says she's still upset about how she tapped out at WrestleMania, and it keeps her up at night. But tonight it's one step closer to getting her payback, her revenge. She's a little even more heelish, this Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
She's evil. Io's the evil but cool.
I wouldn't say she's evil. I just say she's like shit. Like she's just a bit annoying, right?
You gotta
she's just
be
moaning.
Joking me.
Yeah.
You gotta be joking me.
Gotta be joking. No, I can't even do it. I'm tired. Yeah, Ripley's like fallen way down for me. I just don't find her interesting anymore.
Move her to Raw or SmackDown.
I think so.
Damian Priest. He says, the key to infamy was to have multiple targets. Yeah, I want to be champ, but that will come. I saw Finn Balor return to NXT, and that is the target. That's an opportunity. He put NXT on the map, so I'm coming for him. And I'm going to do it at a place he made famous. Your house. Takeover. Finn Balor versus Damian Priest. Finn Balor will turn to ash. And the name Priest, well, you know, it will live forever. And then the camera zooms out, and he's in front of the Titantron, and then it turns into the fire Damian Priest. Whereas I thought it was going to be zoomed in on him the whole time, and then like Lost Boys, where all of a sudden it's upside down, and he's actually hanging upside down, or like in a club somewhere, or like doing something different.
Man, if he was at a club, I'm tweeting him right now.
Wouldn't that be a thing nowadays to see him at a club? He's like, I don't give a fuck. I have secret Blade clubs I go to.
It's something. So I've been writing the Impact reports.
Yeah.
And every week there's someone who's like, and when you win this match, we're gonna go and party. Like I'm like, guys, where are you going?
Where are you gonna party?
Like I know you're getting away with filming this shit,
6 feet away.
Where is open?
And can we come? So Damian Priest, Finn Balor, and the Nightstick at TakeOver in your house. That's what's happening. Live forever. Main event time. Number one contenders match for the NXT Women's Championship. The former champion Rhea Ripley versus the true number one contender. Who won this whole that briefcase to get to here and all that stuff? The genius of the sky, Io Shirai. So Rhea Ripley, Io Shirai, we kind of figured where this match is going as well and why this match was taking place, and it does exactly do what we thought. But this was a fun match. They kind of have a little standoff and a stare off. They go back and forth, kind of technical. And Io Shirai, I said she's a cool heel, right? Well, she goes old school and she back rakes Rhea Ripley.
Oh yeah.
And this is where Rhea Ripley doesn't say you got to be joking me, but says, Are you kidding me? Because who back rakes?
What did I say to you just before this match started?
Rhea Ripley?
No, just about this match.
What about this?
I was like, this is going to be loud.
You're going to be
This
two
match is
screaming
going to be
people.
very screamy.
I love Io Shirai when she screams, though. Like, she's so, like, just... I like when wrestlers are aggressive. I don't like it doesn't work for some people.
It feels very forced here, and I know it's because of the empty arena thing to kind of fill it. It seems a lot here, and I found it in a lot of Rhea Ripley's matches since the empty arena thing. And I get it, because you don't want the silent sound, but it makes it feel fake to me, because it makes it feel like people are, ow, that really hurt. Fuck me.
Bugger. Yeah. Well, Rhea Ripley does a lot of shouting, and so does Io Shirai.
Yeah.
Io Shirai is always yelling.
Yeah.
All over the place. I'm a fan. Big fan of the yelling. They go back and forth. Rhea does like a face first, like slam to Io Shirai. There's then like a standing flipping into the standing stomp from Io Shirai. They go to commercial. When they come back, Io has a crossface on Rhea Ripley, but she gets out of it. They both are up on the top rope and headbutts from Rhea. Then a beautiful superplex on Io Shirai, but it's only a 2 count. Io somehow gets Rhea into the crossface again, which has kind of become like one of her major key moves, I'd say, in her arsenal. But Rhea just gets her fingers onto the rope finally. Beth Phoenix did a great job there where she's like, she's a fingertip away, and then literally the finger grabs the rope. But as she's grabbing the ropes to break the submission and get up to her feet, Io lets go, runs back, hits the 619, the tiger feint kick, then the patented springboard drop kick, and then this like crazy like suicide dive cross body type move to the outside. And this, of course, we enter Charlotte. She comes out, her music hits. Not only does she just walk out, but it's Charlotte. So we got to play her music, even if it's during a match. She comes out. They kind of stare off her and like, get the hell out of here. There's a head scissors from Io sending Rhea into Charlotte, which pisses Charlotte off. They go back in the ring. Charlotte comes in and kind of breaks up the match and hits a big boot to Io and spears Ripley. So there we have it. What we thought all along, we won't have one contender to the title. We'll have 2.
They've not announced that yet, but we've all watched wrestling for long enough. Yeah, the match was pretty good. I
really like this match, but I am an Io Shirai fan. I do think Io Shirai, to me, is so ahead of in actual matches and wrestling of so many different wrestlers. I know I gush over Io Shirai week by week here and talk about how much I think like she's my favorite, but she's so good. Her moves are like purposely picked and they fit the matches. I do like the character of her kind of screaming, and it more so fits when there's no one in the crowd. And I don't know, she's supposed to be the heel as well, but she's totally the baby face.
She's not a heel anymore.
She's the baby
she's
face
not a heel.
here. And I think everyone kind of now has come along and seen over this past like year plus that Io Shirai is like fucking so fantastic. And I'm not a huge Rhea fan, but this was pretty fun. And obviously this is just setting up the 3-way triple threat, but cool.
The match was fine. I actually thought this was a pretty solid show, but what bothers me is you've got all these companies trying to be creative right now due to the pandemic and lack of things they can do wrestling wise, so they're trying to be creative in other ways. We called this, was it last week or the week before, that they're going to have a match, Charlotte's going to come out, interfere, and it will be made a triple threat match. It makes Charlotte look dumb. Like, come on, your dad was a wrestler for fucking 30 years. You never seen you interfere in a number 1 contender match that ends up being made triple threat every single time? It makes her look dumb. It's just lazy. I thought it made the show end on a really lazy note. And it's like, come on, stop going to your, like, booking wrestling 101 dusty
really
manual that it's... We see this happen fucking 5-6 times a year. Anytime they want to get to a triple threat or a 4-way or whatever. Mm-hmm. I would have just liked to have seen something a bit more creative here.
Yeah, that could be said, because the ending was pretty much the same thing you see all the time. Two people
and
who
I
get
think
interrupted.
Maybe because of that, I didn't get into the match because I was waiting for Charlotte to come out.
Sure.
And sure enough, the music hit, she comes out. I was just waiting for the angle because I didn't think we were going to have a clean winner here and a clean number one contender.
Yeah.
Rest of the show I was really high on. I thought it was actually, wrestling-wise, a really solid show. I thought both cruiserweight matches were great. I'm excited for Karrion Kross and Tommaso Ciampa. Intrigue as well, that still with the Masked Men, the kind of the cartel. I think we've called them
Cartel.
the Lucha Cartel.
Maybe it's Selena Vega's boys. No Austin Theory. Hey,
No
Austin Theory. We talk about NXT guys, and we talked about Austin Theory. We were watching Austin Theory in Evolve, and now the dude's Jesus' right-hand man. Essentially, could be.
Absolutely.
Seth Rollins. It's crazy. Yeah.
But when it came to that main event, I'm just like a tank because tanks don't give a shit.
Oh, I thought you said it tanked.
Yeah.
Tanks just don't.
Doing a cool bit.
Tanks don't give a
Tanks
shit.
don't give a shit.
Do you think they do?
Tank don't give
What
a
could
shit.
stop a tank? Tell me one thing. There could be some things. Lava, water, fucking missing keys. There could be things that stop a tank, all right? But yeah, you're right. My highlight was, in fact, the Shotzi Blackheart vignette. Because it was something that was different than wrestling. When do you ever kind of see that in wrestling? It's very rare. We see the classic, like how we saw Cameron Grimes, where he's got a backdrop somewhere and he's talking shit. But here Shotzi's talking ridiculous, edited into her being in a tank crushing cars. That was my highlight because it wasn't necessarily. I did like the wrestling tonight. Was high on the Drake Maverick and Kushida match. I think that was my match of the night. But I also kind of low key liked Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley.
Okay.
But Io Shirai to me always delivers. She's in a league of her own. I think, when it comes of the world of professional wrestling. I like this episode of NXT, but let's see what some other people think of it. Forum.postwrestling.com. Every Wednesday night we post up the forum feedback thread for NXT, and then we read it here on the show. Would you like to go first there, good sir?
Absolutely. Let's go to Paul from New Jersey. That Shotzi Blackheart promo was bottom of the barrel cringe. I'm sure some people liked it, Brady, but I thought it tanked. Hope Dakota kicks the color out of Blackheart's hair.
Oh.
Santana Garrett is super underrated, and I hope she gets a push one of these days. Johnny Gargano singing Mia Yim's theme was really funny. Kona Reeves is a one-time WXW. What's that mean?
Like wrestling? WXW?
A one-time WXW what?
World X champion? I don't know what that means.
WXW is the German company.
Yeah, that's
Paul, you're in the YouTube room. I'll have a look in a second. Clarify. YouTube chat notes. Googled Shark Girl. Don't know if it was what you were talking about, but it certainly was interesting. Yeah, before we go kind of to the podcast, we always chat to the YouTube room for a bit, and Shark Girl was brought up, and raise some eyebrows in the room.
I'm sorry.
So,
I'm sorry.
Don't
ever. If I ever say, "Hey, you should try Googling this," you probably shouldn't try Googling this.
Definitely want a dark side of the ring for the Rockers. There's so much story to tell. Both were considered, even if not Marty being better initially. From there, one goes on to be the greatest in-ring performer of all time, and the other is a tag team punchline. There is so much there.
Oh man, Marty Jannetty and
his questionable Facebook post.
Facebook post.
Stoked for Scream 5. Since they can't make fun of reboots again, perhaps our two new killers can only go after former WCW champions. They wouldn't have to go too far. Great work, guys. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you very much. But how dare you say that about Shotzi Blackheart and her tank?
Yes, and Paul meant one-time WXW champion. I did not know that.
Wow.
Good for you, Kona.
Hey, is he gone?
I don't know.
He could be. I think he might be. We don't know yet.
But he's the finest.
He's the finest on the indies.
Oh, boy.
He's the finest.
Oh, boy.
Indie wrestler. We go to Mystery. He says, "Hiya, not much to say tonight, but I got a jet. Never let Shotzi cut a promo again, and that's what we're getting going forward. Rhea Ripley came off like trash talking heel. I think she spent more time trash talking than trying to beat Io. Io did it. Io Shirai did as well, but at least she was spending less time trash talking and more time trying to win. Also, her new Tron is great. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to mention that. Yeah,
I noticed that.
It looked great.
Yeah, the sidebars, right?
Yeah, and it had actually something we haven't seen in wrestling for a while. It had clips of her. which they've kind of gone away from that in the last few years. But yeah, there were pictures of EO on the screen as well.
Charlotte Flair falling for the oldest trick in the book of taking out both women. She should know better that Regal will just make her defend it in a triple threat. Hopefully it's at TakeOver. Question of the week, is Brady going to serenade the podcast with his sweet-ass remix of Kyrie's tune from Monday? Oh, man, I don't know about that. It's on my Twitter, @TheBrady, and you can find this thing.
And we go to our guy who was on Up Yours just last week for 8 Mile.
Yeah.
We go to B Detroit. My boys, what up, doe?
What up, doe?
What up, doe? Man, I love Killer Cross's intro, and the cold open right into it was a really dope twist. Kind of bummed to see Tozawa lose. I really wanted him to face off with Kushida for the belts, but could we really trust WWE to book a tournament the right way? Am I a fool for getting my hopes up? Anyway, thumbs in the middle for the show tonight. Am I the only one who's done with Charlotte as NXT champ? I don't want to see a three-way for the belt. I just want EO as champ because Shirai gets me high. Cheers, bros. Thank you, B Detroit. And he'll actually be one of the people joining us this Saturday on our watch-along for Double or Nothing. We had a great chat with him on the 8 Mile show on Up Yours.
Yeah.
I felt after that show like this guy's one of our best mates.
I know.
It was such good chemistry with him. He's such a cool dude from Detroit.
We got into some nerdy, I guess not nerdy, but I guess some hip-hop, Eminem talk. A lot of Eminem chat, where you were just like, what are you talking about?
Hey, no, I think I held my own with Eminem. Come on. I'm a white guy that doesn't know rap. Of course I like Eminem.
You know the one white rapper? Yeah, the one white rapper. That's, yeah, I know what you mean, yeah. That was a lot of fun. B Detroit will join us for that. Thank you everyone for all the feedback. We post up forum.postwrestling.com every Wednesday. And like we said, Kim is David's favorite Eminem song. Like we mentioned that, yes.
So wrong.
We did that on our Patreon. That's up this week. As well as this week, we mentioned we have John Pollock joining us for Best Match Ever, Stan Hansen. We're going back. We're watching him versus Andre, him versus all these old age Japan, New Japan, all sorts of stuff. We have this week as well as our AEW Thursday review, as well as our Double or Nothing watch along, and then a post show on that as well, Saturday night. What else am I missing?
Well, if you want to kind of get ahead of the game and prepare for next week's shows, we are gonna be reviewing. I'm kind of dreading this a bit. Yeah, we are going to The Godfather.
Yeah,
it's
we made you an offer we can't refuse.
Yeah,
and that's if you.
I've not seen this film for a while, so
yeah. I've been doing The Sopranos, so I'm in all mafia mode.
You're ready for it.
What are you gonna do?
Also, as we're all in lockdown, we'll be joined by Jonathan Pine, one of our world champions, to talk all about TNA Lockdown 2009, featuring Sting versus Mick Foley.
Yeah, and it's for free on YouTube.
This show is completely for free on YouTube, and actually it's quite a lot of fun. So if you're looking for an old show to watch, throw that on, and our review will be up next week.
Yeah, you have your Lost reviews. We do was next, which we've been going back and watching old NXT, and it's crazy all the WWE wrestlers that went through NXT in 2012, where they are now and where they are when we're watching.
Yeah, we're seeing Trent Beretta, Cassius Ohno, Richie Steamboat, who's my favorite.
Roman Reigns is debuting on our next episode.
Roman Reigns will be on the next episode, yes.
So we've been doing so many of those as well. We have our Up Yours where the world champs pick stuff. It's just been so much fun. And like I said, we do our AEW reviews, which has been upNXT is our fun like Thursday chill show as well. And shout out to everyone who's been following our like watch alongs and our YouTube stuff, like our YouTube room right now. So if you ever want to join us, have some friends to watch wrestling with, then join us for our watch along with Double or Nothing.
Or if you don't want to pay $50 to watch Double or Nothing, just join our YouTube room and we'll tell you what happens.
Some people do that. Some people are like, I just would rather listen to you guys talk.
We might get sidetracked and talk about Shark Girl and things like that, but we'll at least make sure we tell you the results.
Yeah, exactly. So look for that as well. And then we will be doing on this very feed, we will be having our takeover in your house, but that's for a little while still to go. Yeah. So all these things coming soon. Patreon.com/upnext. $5 a month gets you all the shows we're mentioning, plus all the shows we have in our back catalog, which is just so many different things. So that's what we've been doing to keep busy during our quarantine. If you like our show, you can follow us on Twitter at upNXT Podcast. Subscribe, rate us wherever you find your podcasts. Give us that 5-star review. And you can find myself, Braden Herrington. I am on Twitter and Instagram. I am at the Brady.
And I am at Davie Portman.
And we will be back next week, this same time, with this podcast, Up Next, every Wednesday, Thursdays, wherever you get your podcast. And again, youtube.com/upnext, every Wednesday night live. Thank you, everyone in the YouTube chat room. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We're going to get out of here. So take care. Goodbye, you big creepy dork.
Eat my tank. Ahoy! Ooh. Okay. Right. Now, guys, I'm curious. Is our new listener who didn't like our opening chat still in the room? I hope we didn't scare them off. Yeah, we had music for me 007. Oh, a Bond fan.
That's strange.
Do we still have music for me in the room? Because I hate to think we scared them off with talks of everything else. Eat my tank as long as it isn't covered in ricotta. Well, it looks like music for me 007 has gone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you to all our regulars and new listeners for joining us tonight. That was a fun chat tonight.
No Shane effects.
No, who said? I finally saw it. Okay. Yeah, no Shane effects this week.
Yeah. Good night, guys. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, John. Thank you, Cool Gang Big B. Thank you, Eric Marcotte. Thank you, everyone else in the chat room. We'll be back next week. But join us this Saturday.
Yeah, join us on Saturday. Even if you don't like AEW, just come say hi.
Yeah, do it.
Toodle pip.
Bye.
Take care. Auf Wiedersehen. Ahoy.